Hello, everybody. Good evening. I hope I am visible. I hope I'm audible. Welcome to the NMAT analysis. I've got quite a few pings from everybody asking me, "Kab hoga ye? Kab aayega?" Because I remember taking the session 60 days to NMAT, 90 days to NMAT, stating ki wait for me to take the NMAT exam and analyze it before you go ahead and take your attempt. So here we are. I just want confirmation that I'm audible and visible. Hey, Shubham. Hi. So once I'll confirm that, hey, Anik, what's up? Okay, I think all of that is sorted. I can see a lot of highs. I can see a lot of hellos. So I'm guessing everything is audible and visible. Perfect. So let's quickly go ahead and kickstart today's session. Simple session. I'm going to talk about two parts. Number one, the NMAT exam, the analysis. I've spoken to a few students who were with me as well. I met quite a few students during my attempt today. I couple of other faculty from CL have gone ahead and written the exam as well over the last couple of days as well. So this is a combination of all of that that we're going to go ahead and spend some time on. Also, I'll talk a little bit about my own personal attempt, what I felt about the three sections. I've been taking NMAT every year for the last 10 years. So predominantly comparing it with, say, the last year, so that we can understand a little bit with respect to level of difficulty section wise, bada hai, ghata hai, cutoff badega, ghatega, what is it that we can go ahead and expect. So that's predominantly what we're going to go ahead and encapsulate in today's session. So I hope that makes sense, and let's quickly go ahead and kickstart. Okay, so first and foremost, let's go ahead and have a look at what it is that we will start with. The first thing is the exam checklist. I think very important. What are the things that you should be carrying with you? So we'll talk about that. Then we'll move to the NMAT pattern and UI, some of the things that you need to keep in mind. Finally, the sequence of sections, specifically the one which I took, and the reason behind it and why I would suggest that you do the same. Fourth, the section wise analysis, getting into the type of questions that have come from each section, the number of questions from every topic, and then hopefully going through a few questions as well. I have a few questions with me here, which we'll pick up whatever I can remember and recall basis what I have. The expected cutoffs according to me, and then the memory based questions, like I stated, which I will pick up along with the section wise analysis. And finally, any questions in case you have. Okay, so let's see how, before I go ahead and kickstart, anybody here who's gone ahead and written the paper? Anybody who wrote the paper today? So scored 233, scored 236. These are good scores. Will cutoff go down till 210? No, it will not go down till 210 for sure. Anybody who wrote the paper today? Score 236. 236 is good. I will get into the cutoffs. Don't worry. I'm just interested. Anybody who wrote the paper today, how did it go? Jayavardhan 261. Lovely. Math kitna aaya? 261 is fab. I gave today 9 a.m. Okay. So how did it go? कौन सा है इसमें? Green वाला बोल दे, yellow वाला, light blue. I hope it's not orange. I hope it's not, pink. Prajwal got 287. Fabulous. 287, so you're sorted. Nothing much to worry about then. 287 is fabulous. Jayavardhan 66 in math. That will be slightly difficult, Jay. 261 is very good, but 66 in math, you might not clear the sectional cutoff. Okay. So my take on what the paper was like, I've been hearing a lot about, the paper is very difficult. I wouldn't turn around and state it is very difficult. Yes, it is slightly more difficult than what came last year, and predominantly for two reasons, which we'll talk about. But overall, I would say the paper was somewhere here. I won't say it was the best that it could be. I think last year's paper was better from my perspective as well. So I think it was somewhere in that region. Those of you who've written it, some of you started commenting your score. It'll be good if you comment your score. It'll help us also understand, what others have done, and what to expect. In terms of what you should be carrying, the admit card is obviously needed. Original primary ID proof. So PAN card, Aadhaar card, it could be your passport, stuff like that. Carry a secondary ID. Like for me, in my Aadhaar card, surprisingly, it's a very old Aadhaar card. My date of birth wasn't there. Only my birth year was there. So they actually wanted my PAN card after that. So luckily, I had my primary as well as my secondary. So I carried both. So I would recommend carry both. One photocopy of primary ID, this is not needed. Used to be needed till last year, but not needed right now. Okay, so the first three is what I would recommend. Go ahead and do carry this. This and this are compulsory. Ensure date of birth is mentioned in the primary ID that you carry. If you do, then secondary ID might not be needed. This is the paper pattern. Nothing really changed. Everything along expected lines. 36 questions per section. Marks 120. Generally, the way to look at the marks is the marks go from 12 to 120. So 12 से शुरू होता है, which is why 36 into 3 is 108 and 12 से शुरू होता है तो 120. That's the way to look at it. Obviously, a scaled score है, normalized score है, and we'll get into that as we go ahead. Couple of pointers regarding the NMAT UI. Those of you who've not already written the exam, I think important. You get to choose your own sequence. अब वो कैसे होता है? Say here I write language skills. Say I write quant. Say I write reasoning. Okay, so these are the sections. Then यहाँ पे 1 है, यहाँ 2 है, यहाँ 3 है. What you have to, and then these are boxes. Okay, these are boxes. What you have to do is you have to select this language skill. Then while pressing the mouse, you need to hover it and move it to the place you want it to get to. So for me, say I wanted to get it to 3, so language skill press karke I got it to 3. Q I wanted here, I moved it here. Reasoning I wanted here, I moved it here. So that's one thing that you'll have to keep in mind जो करना है. इसके साथ साथ एक NDA आता है. You have 2 minutes. You have to accept I agree and move ahead. If you do not do that, then your exam gets cancelled. So don't miss out on it. NDA comes right up front, do it. There is also a tutorial. It's a 8-minute tutorial. It helps you understand the entire UI. It helps you understand, आपको up down scroll कैसे करना होगा. It helps you understand कि cursor पे next कैसे करते हैं, how a section ends, and so on and so forth. So go ahead and understand all of that. There is no question palette. Why? Because you can't really leave a question. You have to attempt every question in the sequence that it comes. So the question palette is not needed at all. So it's not there. You must scroll through the entire question or passage before switch. Now, for me, the screen was huge, so I had no issues at all. Till last year when I was taking it at home, because they allowed you to take it at home. My screen is smaller because it's a laptop. So scroll up down question wise, scroll up down DI charts में वो बहुत करना पड़ता था, आज करना नहीं पड़ा. But some of you, in case you get a smaller screen, you will need to do that. That's a lot of time wasted. Till you don't scroll, it will not let you move. Even though you know the answer without scrolling, it won't let you do that. And obviously, you can't go back to the previous question once you've answered anything. I hope the UI is very clear to everybody. Okay. 69 in math, thoda difficult hoga. Official mock I scored 250, rest 245, 224. Official mock scores are good. Overall 210 will be slightly tricky, Khushi. Official mock 213, NMAT exam 233, Shubham 233 is good. What was my score? My score was okay. It was 265. Couple of things that I think I could have done better. थोड़ा chilled out भी थे, ज़्यादा stress नहीं ले रहे थे. But I think a couple of places, especially in verbal, where I could have done much better. Having said that, I also feel that the LOD this year versus last year, there is a slight difference, and we'll talk about that. So my paper's LOD can be completely different from yours. Yeah, in general, Dhanesh, now I hope you are aware of this as well. If you go ahead and read it, you can read your admit card as well, and you can read everything. They've clearly mentioned that the score that you go ahead and get, right now, that score is not dependent upon me. Say Dhanesh has gone ahead and written an exam, his score is not dependent on me. It's not like CAT where it's going to be normalized basis everybody who has gone ahead and taken the exam. That's not how it operates. ये लोग के पास ना एक डेटा बैंक है. Now NMAT is conducted by GMAC. GMAC has a data bank. Data bank से question आ रहा है. Each question पे एक level tagged है. Right? There's a level tagged per question. Once there is a level tagged per question, after that, it doesn't really matter whether I attempt it, you attempt it, Timbuktu attempts it, Sachin Tendulkar attempts it, makes no difference. उस question का वही level है. So at the end of the day, your score is dependent upon the kind of questions that were picked up from the data bank and showcased to you. Hence, the score is not dependent on anybody else, which also means that as per NMAT, the level of difficulty across the paper, across all slots will be equal because the questions are being picked up from a data bank. इसका मतलब, say I pick up a question which is level 3 in numbers, factors के ऊपर. अब मेरे को एक लेवल 3 क्वेश्चन फैक्टर्स पे मिला, आपको मिला, अखिलेश को मिला, ऋषभ को मिला, एवरीबडी गॉट देयर ओन different level 3, but it is a level 3 question. Now you might find it yours difficult, I might find mine easy. That's a separate thing. So there is no such thing that a level of difficulty will vary. It does not, people state it, but NMAT being conducted by GMAC, and GMAC has conducted GMAT for eons now. I personally feel that at least, unlike snap, there is a certain level of standardization. I'm not saying it's very standard. cat बहुत अच्छा है because normalize कर देते तो अच्छा हो जाता है, यहाँ वो नहीं हो रहा, but at least a certain level of standardization is there. So I hope that's okay. Also, students keep stating this, that I've heard this a lot. A particular faculty writing the exam in cat slot 1 or slot 3 or slot 2 will affect my marks and all. Trust me, it generally doesn't. It's a separate thing. We don't do it. We attempt only 2 section, third we don't and all. But in NMAT, that can't happen also. In cat, it could happen because normalization is dependent on everybody's score. In NMAT, it is not. Right? So don't worry about that. I hope this clears the air with in relation to that. Okay? I hope this clears the air. Okay, let's get back. My order of attempt, I started with language skills. I started with LR, which is reasoning. I moved on to quant and I ended with language skills. Why I always like to do that is, I always state this, the time to question ratio is very, very good in quant. So it acts as a breather between these two sections. The first 30 seconds of quant and the last 15 seconds of quant you can take as a breather. So you can turn around and say 15 say 30 seconds in total breather hai. So मेरे पास 51.5 minutes का section है. It allows you to go at breakneck speed in LR and language skills. So that's why I like to do it like this. So that is my suggestion. Up to you how you want to go about it. Generally the way I like to do is, जो section मेरे को सबसे difficult लगता है, जहाँ मुझे लगता है सबसे fresh होने की जरूरत है, वो मैं first करना चाहता हूँ. That's why LR. Why? Because उसमें verbal reasoning जो है वो straight forward नहीं है. जो section easiest होता है, generally language skill is the easiest section. Why? Preposition के questions आएंगे, grammar के questions आएंगे, and so on and so forth. So that's not very difficult, right? You can go ahead and handle it. ठीक है? Cool. Okay. Let's move to logical reasoning. This is what my paper looked like. If you have a look at the kind of questions, order ranking questions. Now, what are order ranking questions? Say I turn around and I tell you, there are 12 people who are standing before me. There are 10 people between me and John. Then there are 10 people between John and Jack. And then what is the minimum number of people who could be standing in a row if Jack is 12th from the end? Something like that, right? You need to calculate. So मैं यहाँ हूँ, मेरे से पहले 12 है, मेरे एंड जॉन के बीच में 10 से 12 है, जॉन एंड जैक के बीच में 10 है, मिनिमम मुझसे मांगा है, so I will put John also somewhere here ताकि ये 10 हो जाए. Then this is 2. Then say Jack is fifth from the end, so then that means there are 4 here. So now add the total number: 12 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 10 plus 1 plus 4. That's the total number of people. That's the question on order and ranking. That basically what came. Input output, and I'm doing the memory based questions as I am going through the sections. I hope that is fine with you all, right? Okay, I hope that is fine with you all. I will not go ahead and have a memory based section separately in this session. As I'm picking it, I'm doing the memory based questions that I remember. I hope that makes sense. Okay, I am doing the actual questions, Jack. Right now I have a few questions with me, so from my memory basis that I'm doing the exact same questions. I hope it's audible. Yes, no, कोई yes, no बोल नहीं रहा, नहीं करूं? Huh? Should I not solve? Do you want me to solve memory based questions? Yes, no. There are no replies only. Jack Nicholson is saying yes. What about the others? Yes. कोई reply नहीं करता है. Okay. So let's do input output. I'll tell you क्या था. So I'll give you an example. Imagine my input is B, C, D. Okay. Step 1 was 24. Step 2 was, step 3 was, step 4 was, step 5 was. Now this is an example of an input output. What is it? Input is BCD. The first step became 24. How? B is equal to 2. This needs to strike. C is 3. D is 4. So 2 into 3 into 4 will be 24. So वो step 1 हो गया. Step 2 क्या हुआ? 2 plus 3 plus 4 वो 9 हो गया. Step 3 क्या हुआ? This 9 again got converted to a letter. So that is I. Step 4 क्या हुआ? The starting and the ending remains I. The between becomes square of this. So I 81I. Step 5 क्या हो गया? I sum of 8 plus 1. So I 9I. This was the logic for one of the input out questions that I had. This is like an alphanumeric based question, and then there were 4 questions related to that. एक input दे दिया बोला output क्या होगा, एक third step दे दिया बोला input क्या हो सकता है, एक input दे दिया बोला fourth step क्या होगा, and so on and so forth. Clear? Another input output I do not remember very clearly. That was predominantly just to do with numbers. Numbers के ऊपर था. It was something like, say, if the first number is 4, say input is 4, then the output was 4 into 9 plus 7, which is 43. Then it was this 4 into 4, so that's 43 plus 16, so that's 59. Then third was the subtraction between these two, which is 16. Then fourth was 16 whole square, which is 256. And then the fifth was 2 plus 5 plus 6, which is 13. This was the logic. जो भी input है, input into 9 plus 7 became step 1. Step 2 was this input into 4 added to step 1, so 59. Step 3 was the difference between step 1 and step 2. Step 4 was square of step 3, and step 5 was sum of the digits of 4. Is this clear? Is this clear? Cool? Cool? समझ आया? So obviously not straightforward. I wouldn't even say that it was very easy, but yes, if it strikes you that generally alphanumeric hai, kya kar sakte ho, yes, it can be handled. Okay, those who are looking for cutoffs, wait, we will talk about cutoff. 264 is fine. If every section above 76, guaranteed you will get a call. Okay, let's get back to where I was. Okay, syllogism questions were easy, nothing much to do, straightforward questions. Venn diagram, again, straightforward, not very difficult. It was a 3 parameter Venn diagram like this element given, this given, this given, this given, and you needed to find these 3 where this was given as 0. Just find these 2, and it is given that all 3 are equal as well, x x x. So bas ye aur ye nikalna tha, that's it. So straightforward tha, not very difficult. Logical Venn diagram, basically they went around and stated something like oval is Sony TV, then rectangle was say star, and finally triangle was say Z. And then they've created say they've gone ahead and created something like this, and they put numbers everywhere, and they've told you, so which of this is not true, right? The question, now the fifth answer turned out to be correct for me. That means every option needs to be checked. So this will take a little bit of time, but it is easy, should be done. The problem, according to me, in the reasoning section was actually here. The problem was actually here. These questions, verbal reasoning, was not straightforward. And look at the number of questions: 3, 5, 9, 13, 15. These 15 questions were not straightforward. I think the LR part, sorry, the analytical reasoning part was straightforward, easier to handle, not very complicated. Verbal reasoning will take time. Verbal reasoning will take time. The best way to go about in verbal reasoning is go ahead and look at, the questions which you can attempt seriously. Something that seems very complicated, very convoluted, mark one of the options and move ahead. Don't waste too much time on it. Okay, that's the best way to go about it. Yes, I know, but can we get the speculation? I think 230 to 34 hoga maybe. Guys, relax here. We'll talk about the cutoffs. Please focus on the questions. If you don't want me to do memory based questions, let me know. I won't do them. If you don't want me to do them, let me know. Okay, because you all are all focusing on what the cutoff will be, and I've told you we'll talk about the cutoff a little later. If you want me to do the questions, let me know. If you don't want me to do them, I'll move ahead. It's completely dependent on what जनता wants. Democracy will rule. So यहाँ पे भी democracy rule करवाएंगे. So I will wait. If people are interested, great. If not, then we'll just move ahead. We have a few questions here, but doesn't seem like a lot of y'all are interested. Okay. Okay, coming back. Grid-based questions. Well, there was a grid. Question, numbers given. 1 number, 2 number, 3, 4 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4 given. 1, 2, 3, and a question mark. And you just had to find the logic. This were eventually giving me some answer related to this. That's it. These 3 numbers were related, giving the answer for the 4th one. Basis that you needed to find the question mark. Straightforward tha, kuch issue nahi tha. Decision making question was interesting. They basically stated that there is a lady who wants to think of launching I think it was a semi luxury brand in terms of bridal wear or something like that they want to go at. A semi luxury was very, very important, and she wants a location where she wants to open this boutique or something which should be next to close to the center of the town, but as close to it as possible. But currently center of the town she's unable to afford. That's basically what it was. Then they gave 5 options in terms of usko kahan kholna chahiye. Outskirts mein kholna chahiye where rich people will come. She should open in next to some bridal mahals or palaces. She should open it right next to the center where the rent will be slightly high and stuff like that. So decision making question was basically there, nothing more than that. Straightforward, not very difficult, easy to handle. The basic funda behind it was, what were the 2 things? Number 1, it is semi luxury that she wants to go ahead and sell. So semi luxury means I don't want very, very rich people to come. Second, the restriction was she wants to be as close to the center of the town as possible. So these 2 parameters needed to be taken together, and uske basis mein there was only one option which was correct, and you needed to answer basis that. Okay, that is basically what the decision making question was. There was a number based LR set as well. There are 4 men, there are 6 people, few men, few women. I think 3 men, 3 women were given. Ages were given, and 6 seats in a railway compartment were given. Side berth, middle berth, top berth, so on and so forth. So arrangement type of set hi tha. You can say number based LR, or you can say arrangement based LR, whatever you want to call it, age and seating. So a 4 question set on that. Easy, not a very time consuming. It would have taken about 4 to 5 minutes, but then you get 4 questions. So really worth it, and you should do it. My basic suggestion in terms of attempting this section is, yaar, analytical reasoning pe focus karna hoga. You will get 18 to 20 questions in analytical reasoning. You have to aim to get 16 plus correct. Why? Because if you end up getting anywhere, say 16 to 18 questions in verbal reasoning, you might not get, say, more than 10 correct. There might be a lot where there might be a lot of questions you make errors, and this is where this entire game comes into the picture, because the overall cutoff that you should be looking towards getting, safe score, guaranteed safe score is 76 plus. 72 plus may work, may work. 76 plus is guaranteed going to be safe. 72 plus may work. Hence, if I want 76 plus, I'm looking at 26 net correct ke aaspas. So 16 and 10. Now, one thing you need to keep in mind is there could be about 6 to 8 guesses, right? So let's say there are only 28 serious attempts. Us 28 mein, let's say the serious attempts are like 16 in AR, 12 in, say, verbal reasoning. Is 16 mein hopefully you get 13. Is 12 mein hopefully you get about 7. So 20 ho gaye. Now if I look at this 6 8, you will get only 2 3. So this gives you only 22 to 23. That's where the problem is. That's where the problem is. Hence I am saying AR is where you have to go ahead and maximize, which is why I said 18 attempt पे 16 चाहिए. मतलब मैं 1 2 से ज्यादा गलत नहीं कर रहा. तो 16 attempt पे 13 नहीं, वो 14 15 के आसपास करेक्ट होना होगा. Okay, so please keep that in mind. AR is where you will need to maximize. Input output, please go ahead and practice as much as possible. There are 2 sets which are coming. Arrangements are coming. So arrangements also practice. So between input, output, and arrangement, there were 3 sets, 12 questions. In 3 sets, pe spending 12 to 14 minutes makes sense because that is 12 questions, 36 marks that you can get. And जनरली होता क्या, इनपुट आउटपुट दोनों स्ट्राइक नहीं करते, एक ही स्ट्राइक करते हैं. अगर वैसा हो रहा है, then don't end up spending 15 minutes on 12 questions because 4 you are not attempting seriously. Then spend only 10 minutes on 8 questions and the remaining 4 tried it for 1 or 2 minutes, guess. So 11-12 minutes में हो होगा, at least you will end up saving 3 to 4 minutes. That is very, very important. Okay. Most of the options were outskirts and school. Yes, they were, but there was one which was close to the center, एक mall में or something like that. I got one LR set on light poles in same slot and installed in 5 consecutive days. Okay, I didn't get that, Shubham. I wasn't 9 a.m. I was 12 noon slot, so I don't know whether you were there. Sir, I got 73. काम कर जाएगा. As I said, 72 might work. 76 plus surely will work. So might work. I'm not saying कि नहीं चलेगा. It might work. QA 74, LS 89, LR 87, total 250. What are the chances? I think this should work. Quant last year cutoff was 70. I don't think it will go higher. If it goes also roughly around 73, 74, I always turn around and say 76 plus in any section, you're very, very safe. उससे अगर थोड़ा कम है, obviously थोड़ा बहुत, iffy रहेगा, but I don't think it will be a problem. You should be able to crack it. Okay. Okay. Let's move to quant. Now this is where I think people need to maximize. इसके अंदर एक problem है. For me at least, this table, it was not very, very clear. It was a table on, I think, vertebrate animals. So there are mammals, there are reptiles, there are fishes and whatever. And then the second table was, how are you categorizing them on the verge of extinction, no issues, others, basically categorize करना है. Now the problem was, imagine I give you a graph like this. ठीक है, ऐसा कोई ग्राफ है, यहाँ पे लिखा है 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Now these are percentages. Now I create a graph like this, okay? Then ये ऐसे कर दिया तो 1 हो गया. Then ये ऐसे कर दिया. Then ये blank छोड़ दिया. Then ये ऐसे कर दिया. Now these are 4 different, right? Now the problem is, while they had gone ahead and created a grid कि there are 10 lines, so each is 2%. The problem is the percentages came out to be something like 38%. Now 38% of 4,909, and the options are very close together. अब 38% of 4,909 निकालना है and options भी एकदम close together है, तो मैं तो कोई estimate भी नहीं कर सकता कि मैं बोलूं 1/3 कर लू. 1/3 is 1630, 1640 के आसपास. अब 1/3 से 5% या 3-4.5% ज्यादा है तो क्या होगा? No, you can't do that because all options are closed. Hence this particular set I would classify as slightly difficult. I would classify this set as difficult because estimations are not possible and time was very limited. So it's a problem. You can't go ahead and do it quickly. The second DI set was easier. In the second DI set, basically, it wasn't a table that was already created, but there was data that was given. Eventually, you go ahead and create a table like this, that you have a car, you've got bicycles, you've got trucks. Years hai 2010, 2011. These are the years, right? Now, basis these years, there was some data that was given. Say bicycle ka they gave in 2011 20,000 hai. Then they turned around and gave in 2010 uska 40% hai. So you know this will be 8,000. It's 40% of that. Then they turned around and stated that the total in 2011 is 1,20,000 or 120,000. Then they said that the truck in 2011 is the average between car and bicycle. So truck is average between car and bicycle. That automatically meant car would be 60,000 and truck would be 40,000. You add, you get 120. Then they said car in 2010 was 10% less than 2011. So this was 54,000. And finally, they turned around and stated that truck, I think in 2010 was, the truck in 2011 was 125% of the truck in 2010 or something like that. And you got this to be 32,000 and the total to be 94,000. This was the second DI set. अब इसके ऊपर questions थे. This was easy. Putting it in this format was your responsibility. Question was given like a paragraph. You had to just turn around and put it into a tabular format. Okay? Clear? I will get to the surprises, Rushabh. Okay? Is there any similarity between official mock and real exam? Yeah, basis what I'm hearing, I think the official mock is slightly easier than the real exam. Basis what I'm hearing, I haven't had a look at it. I'm considering that the official mock is similar to what it was last year, so it's slightly easier then. Right now I'm focusing on CAT. I'll be sitting for NMAT on 9th December. Will I be able to cope? Yeah, Aram se, Pahil. You'll have about 15 days, right? So go through this video then as well once more. Understand the kind of questions that have come, the topics that you need to focus on, and it will go ahead and help you. Okay. Should I continue? Should I continue with memory-based questions? Do you want me to go ahead and solve a few more? I have a few more questions here with me that we can go ahead and solve. So let me know if you're interested. If you are, we will go ahead and do. Okay, so I'm saying yes. So if you are, go ahead, like the session, give some love to the team at the back end who's here every day, ensuring that the YT sessions are happening for y'all. The last lap to CAT, the analysis for the exams, the 30 days to SNAP, and so on and so forth. There are a lot of sessions happening for you. Anubhav says don't do any more memory-based questions. So Anubhav, then you can probably drop off. Others want them, so I'll probably go ahead and do them, right, for them. Okay, let's come back. Data sufficiency in questions. As you can see, there were two questions from arithmetic and one from number systems. Again, the important thing is don't try solving. Just try seeing कि वो जो statement है उससे solve हो सकता है कि नहीं. That's the important. If you sit down and try solving, बहुत time लग जाएगा. It will be very, very difficult to do it. हो सकता है कि नहीं is the important part. ठीक है? Number system से the questions that came. I'll give you one example of a question that came. ठीक है? It was a very simple question. It was 12 into 11 plus, give me one sec, into 4 agar kar lo, 56, 56 and 292, 5892 plus 5892 divided by 4 plus 276. Now this is a number that is given. This divided by which of the following options will give you a perfect square? Option 1, 4, option 2, 7, option 3, 11, and so on and so forth. Now just imagine, this is actually a class 3 question, board mass hai. 5892 divided by 4 karna hai, you will get 1473. 11 plus 1473 karoge, sorry, this is not 11, this is 11 squared. So you will get 121 plus 1473. 121 plus 1473 करके कोई जो आंसर आएगा उसको you will go 1394 आएगा, उसको you will multiply by 12, you will get 19128. उस पे 276 ऐड करोगे, you will get 19404. इसको you will divide by the options to see किस पे आता है. इसको जब 11 से divide करो ना, you get 184, which is 7, 70, which is 6, and 44. 1764. 1764 is 42 squared. So the answer was 11. Are you understanding the kind of question? It's a very, very simple question. Very simple question. Not very complicated, nothing that you have to spend too much time on, but speed ke andar you will end up making mistakes. You will probably make a mistake in division, or you make a mistake in multiplication or in addition, and so on and so forth. Geometry 0, Dhanesh. Last year be 0, this year be 0. Geometry 0. Okay, number system, other questions. One of the few exams where a lot of questions on factors, the number of factors of a particular number which are divisible by 10. You know, if you've attended my number system classes, this is something that we did in the first session of factors or the second session of numbers. So those sort of questions. The highest power of 10 in 5 into 10 into 15 into 20 into 25 multiplied till 50. Those sort of questions, straightforward. This is going to be the game changer according to me in this paper. If you are not good at PNC and probability, it is going to be very, very difficult for you to score very well in quant. There were a lot of questions from probability and a lot of questions on at least one. Imagine I tell you that, your probability of cracking this exam is 3 by 7, whatever. And I give you 3 independent events of cracking the exam. Each has different questions, obviously, so you don't remember anything. Independent events. What is the probability you crack it at least once? So the concept of 1 minus cracking the exam 3/7 or not cracking 4 by 7 at the 1 minus 4 by 7 whole cube. ये वाले concept पे there were 3 questions. 1 minus none, that concept had 3 questions. Then there was a question on, say there are 5 boys and there are 4 girls. Each boy knows 4 dances, each girl knows 5 dances. Now you have to create a team of 1 boy and 1 girl, and each of the dances that each boy knows, each of the dances each girl knows are unique. You have to create a team of 1 boy and 1 girl. So what are the different ways in which dances can be performed, considering that arrangement is also important? So 5C1 into 4C1, 4C1 into 5C1, 400 हो गया. Now arrangement into 2. So those sort of questions were there. There were a lot of questions on PNC. If PNC may nahi hai strength, then this is the time to go ahead and spend some time on it. If you might not want to do it till CAT, but at least CAT, for those of y'all who are writing this exam after CAT, please go ahead and do that. Okay, please go ahead and do that. There was a 404 gateway error, usko fix karne mein 10 minutes lag gaye, but the staff was very cooperative. Very good. I think that was one good thing that I saw this time as well. In fact, this is one thing which I wanted to show you all. This is something they're giving at the center this time. These are earbuds or earplugs, whatever you want to call them, noise cancelling earplugs. In case you feel you're getting disturbed because there's a lot of noise around you, just put it in your ears. Noise cancelling earbuds. I think this is a very good invention that was done this year. Kudos to the entire team. To the NMAT by GMAC team. I think this is very, very helpful. I put it on right upfront and it was very helpful because there was some sort of disturbance happening right from the beginning of the exam. I don't know what it was, some construction or whatever, but it was very, very irritating. So this was a interesting thing that was there. Work and time ka question, I remember a little. It was something that 8 men take so many days to do a piece of work and 8 women take so many days to do a piece of work. Then you start with 4 men and 4 women together and they work together for 6 days. And then after that, X men come in and the rest of the work is done in 4 days. So what is the value of this X? So that was the logic behind the question. So question ka logic samajh lo. You'll be able to practice questions along that. Log ke upar there were a lot of questions. Again, simple questions, Let me give you an example. Something like log base A, log base B, 1 plus log base whatever 5C is equal to 0. समझो ऐसा है. So what is the value of C? Right? So ये B नहीं था, ये probably say 3 था, hypothetically, something like that. Okay? So इससे क्या आएगा? When you look at the first log, it becomes a to the power of 0, which is 1. So you get log base 3 into 1 plus log base 5C is equal to 1. उसको जब तुम करो, so 3 goes here, so 3 power 1, which is 3. So you suddenly get 1 plus log base 5C is 3. So you get log base 5C is 2. So C is equal to 5 to the power of 2, which is 25. So there were 2 questions like this in log. There were 2 questions like this in log. Okay. Very, very simple concepts. If you understand log ka basic funda, which is log base A B is equal to C, means A to the power of C is equal to B, you'll be able to solve. And log, I keep repeating, is very, very important from the perspective of CAT as well. So log as a concept, please study well. CAT may expect 2 questions. आ जाएंगे. 6 marks done. 15 mark पे sectional cut off हो जाता है. I'm telling you today 6 marks will be log. Log पढ़ो. Log is important. Log base A, sorry, log A plus log B is log AB, log A minus log B is log A by B, log base AB is equal to C means A power C is equal to B, then change of base formula, and then to the power wala formula. Only 5 things that you need to know. Log se question aayenge. Do they give paper? Yes, they gave 2 sheets. They gave 2 sheets. Okay. So those were the questions. Overall, if I look at it, not very, very difficult. In fact, this section is what I would call the easiest section. Why do I call it easiest? It is not an easy section. It is a moderate section in LOD, but comparatively easiest section. Why? Because no surprises. In the LR section, the surprises were verbal reasoning was difficult. In quant, no surprises other than the fact कि यार ये एक particular bar graph with table जो था वो easy to comprehend नहीं था. So no surprises. Thus the easiest among the 3, but LOD perspective se moderate. Let's move to language skills. Now this is where I think, according to me, the most change has happened this year. Maximum change is in this section. last year in this section versus this year in this section, I saw a difference of 10 marks. So if you look at my overall score as well, from 276 I've come down to 265. My marks have reduced roughly by 10. Entire reduction has happened in this section. And main reason for that is last year I had 2 RCs. This year there are 3 RCs. Now because of one additional RC, I ended up having lesser time on either the 4 questions of this RC or 4 questions in some grammar. So there were 4 additional guesses. ना 4 additional guess में से एक right हो गया, 3 चले गए, 10 mark का मेरा difference हो गया. That difference basically came from one additional RC. That kind of spoiled the entire thing for me. One RC which I got was typing, that people type a lot. They use a lot of texting these days, lot of shortcuts, whatcuts use karte hai, which is not very, very good. Not something that we should do. Earlier age mein there were people who used to write letters and stuff like that. Now that doesn't happen. Simple RC, nothing much to do. Second was on sleep. When you're a kid, when you're a baby, you sleep a lot. In your teens also you tend to sleep a lot, but as you grow older, you sleep lesser, your body requires lesser, plus there are other reasons why you sleep lesser. Then the fact that you sleep less had something to do with the concept of blue light and lights. That was the concept that came up. So that was the second RC. Again, easy to do. Parajumbles mein, the 5 sentence parajumbles, I would say 1 was slightly tricky, 2 doable, 4 sentence, all 3 were doable, not a lot of issue. uh, Error spotting mein kya hai, they give you a sentence. Us sentence mein there are 4 parts or 5 parts which will be underlined. Generally there are 4 parts which are underlined, and they turn around and state ये फर्स्ट अंडरलाइन पार्ट में एरर है, सेकंड में एरर है, थर्ड में एरर है, फोर्थ में एरर है, और नो एरर. फॉर मी वन ऑफ द आंसर्स वाज नो एरर, but the others there were errors. And you know, one of the parts there was an error. I needed to identify and mention कि ये वाला पार्ट है जिसमें एरर है. Preposition also there were 2 kinds, right? One was preposition which was 3 sentences given, right? 3 sentences में preposition आएंगे, and वो लोग ने 3 sentences दे दिए. preposition के वो लोग ने से 8 words दे दिए, या से 6 words दे दिए, उसको ABCD की तरह दे दिया. ठीक है. Now they are stating what will be the correct answer. So in the first blank, the preposition say you are picking up is A. In the second blank, say the preposition you're picking up is E. In the third blank, the preposition that you're picking up is say C. So the answer becomes AEC. So, you know, choosing like that. That was the 3 sentence preposition. There was 1 sentence preposition that came as well, which is, you know, directly sentence given hai, prepositions niche hai, choose kar lo. Uske alawa, you know, there was also basic word based fill in the blanks which were there. Sorry, not word based, sentence based fill in the blanks which were there. Sentence given है, एक पार्ट ऑफ द सेंटेंस अंडरलाइन करके हटा दिया है. ओके, एक पार्ट को हटा दिया है. वो जो एक पार्ट को हटा दिया है उसके देयर आर 5 ऑप्शंस व्हिच आर गिवन एंड यू हैड टू चूज दैट. ठीक है, दैट इज बेसिकली व्हाट वाज देयर. सो दीज वर द क्वेश्चंस. एनालॉजी आई थिंक वाज ट्रिकी. Analogy was basically completely synonym or antonym based. If you know that, great. If not, तो problem है. ठीक है. That is the verbal section. While the official mock made it clear that there'll be 3 RCs, last year के comparison में this is the difference, which is why I expect कि verbal में at least score will go down, right? Because of this one additional RC that came in. Hence, when people go ahead and ask me, yaar, cutoff kya hoga? What are the things that we can go ahead and do? The thing that comes to my mind is, this particular RC, this particular verbal section is going to make a difference. Now, one thing which I want to leave you all with in terms of languages, there will be time crunch. Do not panic. Grammar ke questions, parajumbles ke questions serious attempt karne. Even if 2 RCs can be attempted seriously, you've done well. One you can guess completely, don't waste too much time. Okay. First 23, 24, the reason I'm saying give 1 minute per question, then you give yourself 4-5 minutes and you have roughly about 10-12 questions. 3-4 you can do seriously, rest could be guesses. That's okay. You can have about 5-6 guesses happening in the verbal section, not a problem. Say मेरे को 5 guess करने, all the 5 guesses can happen say in the last 30 seconds, right? That means if I spend say 23 minutes here, I still have 4.5 minutes to attempt another say 6-7 questions. And if they are grammar questions, you will easily be able to attempt them. So you can still have about 30-31 serious attempts and 4-5 guesses. Do not worry about the later part of the paper. Maximize your score among the first questions you face. Why? Because this is the concept behind adaptive, and this is something that I spoke about in my earlier sessions as well. Do give adequate time to the first 9-10 questions. ठीक है, उसमें marks अगर अच्छे अगर आ गए, you've gotten the questions correct, the system takes you to a particular level. It helps you a lot. Okay. Expected cutoffs. This is what it kind of looks like at this point in time. Now, why am I stating this? According to me, based on last year, there should ideally be a difference of 8 marks. Last year अगर 234 था, इस year 226 होना चाहिए is what I feel. However, it is such a standardized exam and the cutoff has not changed beyond 232 to 234 over the last 4-5 years that I find it difficult that the cutoff might change until unless everybody scores reduce in that percent or in that proportion. I don't know whether that will happen or not. Hence, as of now, basis the data that is coming in as of now, I would turn around and state 234 is safe. Logical reasoning 74, I would say 72 plus may work. Quant 672, I would say 70 plus may work. Verbal 76, I think it will remain the same because it's remained the same for so many years. But if somebody were to ask me logically, I would say about 73 to 74 bhi ja sakta hai. But itne saal gaya nahi hai, so I don't want to make that conjecture. Hence, from a safety perspective, I would turn around and state that these are the marks and these are the cutoffs that you should be looking at. Chances for conversion at 255, which was my slot. My slot was today at 12 noon. Poor, if your sectionals are above what I've stated, you will surely get a call. Conversion completely depends upon your interview. Let me give you an example. Last year, I know of a student who got a call at 236, 234 के आसपास cutoff था, converted. I know of a student who got a call at 265 and could not convert. Interview just did not go off well. Okay. So Sushant, I've written it on the screen. I think that should give you a fair idea. Language skills would be a little tricky at 74. So just keep your fingers crossed कि वहां हो जाए. Sir, actual NMAT, same level of NMAT official mock test by GMAC. I would say actual NMAT is slightly more difficult, Chapa. Slightly difficult. Tulika, quant should be fine, verbal fine, LR fine. I think you have a decent chance, Tulika, to get a call at 237. I think all are safe. 73, maybe. Khushi, NM, you can hope for Indore, maybe. NM Indore for sure. NM Indore तो आ जाना चाहिए 211 के आसपास. 210 पे आसपास NM Indore should surely come. When will the NMAT officially release what? Your score is officially released already. If you go to your dashboard, you'll be able to see. Cutoffs finally क्या है? वो आएगा in the month of January. 212 पे NM Indore might be possible. What was your LR set? I've spoken about my LR sets, right? That I've spoken about that. You can catch it in the video. I spoke about the side birth wala. I spoke about the input output wala as well. Okay. Uh, that's basically it in terms of the questions. Any questions, guys? That's about it from my end in terms of the analysis for NMAT 2024. Shubham, touch and go hai. I think sectionals look okay to me. 233 overall, touch and go hai. LR at 73 and 233 overall is touch and go. I think you should be able to get. You've seen what I put on the screen, right? I think there is a decent chance that you might get a call. But that kind of covers everything. How do you manage three? You don't, Suyash. You don't manage 3 RCs in 28 minutes, which is why I said 2 RCs that you should be focusing on. Third RC can be a guess. Thakur, I've already answered that. NM Indore, maybe you can expect. Decent to enroll क्या खुशी at this point in time considering it's the first exam of the season बहुत जल्दी शुरू हुआ है I would say नहीं इसके बारे तो अभी मत सोचो there can be better options in case things don't work out we can catch up later on maybe in the month of January when all calls are out whether Indore को seriously लेना है कि नहीं ठीक है QA 1000 should be enough for modern math yeah NMAT is on 16 November will the paper be similar level I think should be the same Chapa I don't know whether I should say Varshita or Chapa. Let's say Varshita. I think the level will be the same. What was my score? My score was 265. Uh, already mentioned that. Okay. Next step after getting score, wait for Jan. Do I apply? No, just wait for Jan. Yeah, you're done. Next step is focus on CAT, focus on ZAT, focus on NMAT. on snap. Ensure कि एक call पे ना रह जाए. Ensure that we end up getting a lot of calls, right? 252 QA 71. There is a chance for sure, Meet. 6970 भी cut off गया हुआ है for quant previously. There is a chance. I will not say guaranteed, but there is a chance. I think people in the same slot get same questions. Yeah, more or less the same questions. Given the number of RC, according to you, what should be the sectional order of attempt? My order of attempt remains the same, Prigyanshu. I would still put verbal towards the end. I would still put verbal towards the end because grammar questions, there are still in abundance, right? There are about 14, 15 questions of grammar, add about 12 questions of RCs, and then you end up getting, 6, 8 questions of paragym, which I would still do that. 67 पे quant clear होगा, difficult है यार. RC level of CAT and NMAT, same, very different यार. I would say RC level of NMAT is at least 2 notches below CAT. 2 notches below CAT, at least. At least 2 levels below CAT, if not more. Okay, so kind of answers, everything that was put forth. I hope this helped all of y'all. Go ahead, like the session, go ahead, share it with others so that more and more people can have a look at it before they attempt. I hope this helps all of y'all. Yeah, just stay positive. My tip to boost your score is section wise देख लेते. Quant में modern math is important. Please ensure PNC probability you focus on. Do ensure DI निकालो. ठीक है, नंबर्स इंपॉर्टेंट है. तो जो नंबर्स एंड मॉडर्न मैथ कैट में उतना इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं होता, वो यहाँ पे बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, फोकस करो. रीजनिंग में, एनालिटिकल रीजनिंग में गेट एज मेनी मार्क्स एज पॉसिबल. वर्बल रीजनिंग, यू डोंट नो, यू माइट बी राइट और रॉन्ग. ओके, इन वर्बल डू नॉट स्पेंड टू मच टाइम ऑन सॉल्विंग ऑल 3 RCs. 2 RCs good attempt, 8 questions done. 1 RC can be an attempt. Sorry, 1 RC can be a guess. Remaining grammar pe get marks. Ritik Kissing, thank you, sir. DLA 1000 helped me a lot. Great to hear that, Ritik. Hope the help continues across all other exams as well. Okay, sure topics we must do in quants. Gada, I've already answered that, right, in my analysis. Gada Pashwa, go ahead and have a look at that. I've already stated that again as well. Modern math and numbers guaranteed will come. Arithmetic, almost all topics will get a representation. Quadratic equations will come. Geometry will not come. So you know all of that. Have a look at it. Okay. So that's it from my end, guys. Go ahead, like the session, share it so that it helps everybody. And I'll catch you again very, very soon. Also, upcoming last lap to CAT sessions are happening on YT. Please attend all of them. The CAT CTC Pro analysis tomorrow at 8:30. Also, go ahead and attempt that as well. And see you till before Ritik is saying see you after CAT exams. Hopefully, you'll see me before that as well on a few of our YT sessions. I'll catch you, for some of those sessions as well. That's it for my end for now. See ya. Bye bye. Take care. Good night.